Good evening, folks, and I thought I'd take a bit of time tonight and sit together and make a character for Draw Steel. So I played about this system a fair bit. I've made a bunch of characters and different iterations of it, but tonight I thought the playtest packets out for patrons, and I've seen a few people making similar videos, and also figured DSM should get in on some of that. So I've got a kind of spreadsheet I've got set up here for making characters based on one I used from my friend Robin Baggett, and this is kind of something I've thrown together, and we're going to go step by step through the MCDM RPG character creation. So when you sit down to play this game, first things first, you'll need a character, and that should typically be a character that fits the campaign or the adventure you're going to be playing. So that's something I think Matt Cole's done a few videos on, and it basically means you can't walk in with a sort of preconceived notion of what character to make. Well, you can, but it's not ideal for a campaign. Like, we know this from playing D&D and other things. We want to make something that's going to fit the story that our DM wants to tell, something that gels well with other characters. Now, this character's not actually for a campaign, so there's a little bit less care there, but I thought rather than come up with a concept and come in or try and make a character from a different RPG, I thought I'd literally just play around with the system, see what kind of comes to mind. If in doubt, I've got a fallback sort of adventure that we can make a character for, but I think just reading through the rules and seeing what springs to mind is probably a good solid start. So if we go through the PDF here, so first things first, making a hero. I don't want to read all this verbatim, but I'll do a little bit. If you're not the director, then you create and play one of the main characters in the game story, a hero. You don't have to be a pure beacon of good. Heroes have flaws and are complex, just like people in the real world, but your hero should be someone who isn't afraid to battle monsters for altruistic reasons. Sounds good to me. So where we go, step-by-step hero making. So first of all, they advise thinking about the character you want, the kind of hero you want to make. How do you fight? What do you do outside of combat? What do you do before becoming a hero? Why did you become a hero? And what's your personality like? What people's places and objects are important to you, and how will you complement the strengths and weaknesses of your other heroes in the party. Next, we'll look at ancestry. So there's quite a wide variety of starting ancestries in this game. We will build our own culture. We will choose our hero's career and our inciting instant. We will then pick our class and our kit. We'll add free strikes, so that's like opportunity attacks, but it's got a bit more expanded use in this RPG. We'll pick a complication. Your heroes experience an event that left them with a benefit and a drawback. You'll determine the details of backstory, appearance, things like that. Probably won't do too much tonight, but we might. And then you make connections with other heroes. So with that in mind, let's scroll down and start with ancestries. So just picking out a few cool bits and pieces. We've got the first up, we've got devils, and each of the ancestries has like a quote. They've got a little bit of that sort of textbook stuff talking about the origins. So for the devils, it tells you about they're from the 7 cities of hell, and typically characters are either from there, somewhere else in the timescape, or perhaps they were summoned to this world and trapped there when the person who summoned them died. Or maybe they're the descendants of someone that happened to. So devils have a sort of modular ancestry benefit. So you get certain traits that are just guaranteed, and then you get to pick and choose a few others. So that's tempting, but I don't want to pick the first one we come to. But we might fall back on that. Next we've got Dragon Knights. So most recently, most famously made by Good King Omen's Wizard Vitae. The Dragon Knights were incorruptible, is the tagline. In our last campaign, it was the Dragon Knights were, was it incorruptible, invincible, indomitable, or some version of that. But I love the Dragon Knights. We may well make a Dragon Knight. And they get a few different benefits based on... I think they've got one that they just get, and then they've got one they can pick from a list. So it's a little bit more mechanical than I would say the 5e ones are, but you've obviously got things like your ASI stripped out and less sort of little ribbon features. There we go, Dwarf straightforward. They've got two benefits: more health, and they're harder to throw around. We've got Wood Elves and High Elves. I played quite a few of those. The Hakan, the Barrowmen, the sort of half giants who can see their own death. That could be fun. Humans who are very in touch with the supernatural, because it's very alien to them. The Mnemonic, who I've never played at Mnemonic. They're sort of people from the plane of law, made of inorganic materials. So not like robots, but like just people made of like glass and metal, maybe wood as well, although I guess wood's organic. I guess maybe technical, a lot of them are organic, but orcs. I've always liked orcs. I love MCDM orcs. The Polder, which is the halfling class, ancestry. They've got a really cool spin, more around like sort of being connected to sneaking in shadows, sort of that Bilbo vibe dialed right up. The Revenant, we won't be playing a Revenant because I've seen quite enough Revenants for one lifetime. Our campaign, we've got 3 of them out of the 5 players. Time Raiders are really cool, similar to the Gith, but basically punk personified. And that's it. Well, yeah, let's play a Mnemonic. So let's have a quick look. So let's see, little quote for the Mnemonic. This world of yours, ships of wood and swords of steel, it's so primitive, like a fairy tale. Where do you come from, lady, that our world seems a fable? You have no ships and swords? Oh, we have them. Lady Aristra cast a hand across the sky. You see those stars? That is my home, the Timescape. Our ships are great starfighters that ply the space lanes, and among those stars, light hits as hard as steel. The native denizens of Axiom, the plane of uttermost law. Very cool. So there's a great little bit of fiction here, which I won't spoil. But the only 2 traits to know about Mnemonic: your silicone body is aerodynamic and low in density. So your weight is 3, your speed 7, so you're lighter and faster, but your stability decreases by 2. So stability sort of counteracts force movement, so if you're pushed 2 and you got a -2 to your stability, that means you're pushed 4. The other ability is Keeper of Order. When a creature adjacent to you makes a power roll, you can remove an edge or a bane as a free triggered action. That's cool. I like the fact it's free. So let's have a wee quick look here. So first of all, we're going to go for Mnemonic. And we see it gives us the size, weight, and speed. And next we're going to come into culture. So if we scroll on down, creating a culture. So why build a culture? Building a character is about more than adding up your stats, picking skills and abilities, and recording that information on a character sheet. You're building a hero, the main character in a story, be it a one-shot or a heroic campaign. Think about the personality in the past of who you're creating. That's why the game lets you build a culture rather than simply saying, pick 3 skills and a bonus language. We want players to imagine their heroes as complex and intricate characters. Dope. So you know the language of your culture in addition to knowing Kalian, and you get an environment, organisation, upbringing, which give you access to various skills, and you get an edge on tests to call lore about your culture. Oh, and to influence people with your culture. That's cool. I don't think I knew that. So, I mean, my brain is leaning towards someone who's from the Timescape. So I'm not sure what language the Mnemonics speak, but I think they'll speak Time Raider, because you should know the language of your enemies. So let's see. So we'll speak Kalian, like everyone does, and Time Raider. Vol. For the environment, so you've got 5 possible environments. So we've got nomadic, rural, secluded, urban, or wilderness. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what they all get you, but I'm thinking Mnemonic from the Timescape. I'm fighting against Time Raiders. Probably roaming quite a lot, like some kind of patrol. So it could be your culture that you're from, like you were raised in. It can also be the culture that you have sort of spent more time in more recently. It's just what part you want to kind of focus on. So when we made cultures for capital, some people just went, well, it's urban, bureaucratic, that's the sort of thing. And some people went, well, I was raised in a secluded monastery within capital, so I have a totally different culture within the same city, which is true to life. So I'm going to pick nomadic here, and that gets us an exploration or an interpersonal skill. Nice. How is it? So I'm imagining this like patrols going throughout the timescape of Mnemonic. So their organisation's probably, well, it's probably very bureaucratic in the sense that there's a chain of command, but I wonder if it's actually quite communal and within the patrol. So like, there's maybe someone who's slightly more senior, but generally everyone's out there on their own. I kind of imagine them as like the Jedi, to be honest. So I'm going to put communal, which gets to craft our interpersonal skill. What was our upbringing like? Were we an academic, creative? Were we illegal? Labour, martial, noble? I am not sure. I like the idea of academic if we're focusing on this Jedi vibe, but I don't want to keep it too focused. So imagine something sort of monk-like. What if our upbringing was creative? So music or a crafting skill. Okay. And then we pick career. So what did we do before we became a hero? So well, we worked as a sort of Mnemonic patrol person. So let's see, artisan, criminal, gladiator, labourer, mage, apprentice, performer, sage, or soldier. Let's go for soldier. So it gets us an exploration and intrigue skill, 2 more languages, 1 renown, and the versatile warrior title. That's cool. Insight and instant. What? So what made us leave our career? Well, sole survivor, out of retirement, or dishonorable discharge. I'm not sure what each of those is, so I'm going to look in the PDF and see. So, soldier, dishonorable discharge. You listed to protect others, but your commander ordered you to beat and kill civilians, and you refused. You'd long story career as a soldier before deciding to retire, for out of retirement, or sole survivor. Yeah, sole survivor sounds cool. You're the last surviving member of your unit after an arduous battle or monstrous assault, surviving only because of your luck. You turned away from the life of a soldier then, seeking to become a hero who could stand against such threats. Jedi gone rogue. Okay, now we're on to classes. Now, there's a lot of things that could come up here. So we could play, let's see, Elementalist is cool. We could play a Conduit. I don't necessarily have a feel for like what gods or higher powers are like in the Timescape, but it does lean into that Jedi kind of vibe. Shadow, sort of mixing martial and magic to an extent. Fury, ooh, a Fury could be really cool. A Fury. Or a Tactician. I'm still loving the Jedi vibe, so I'm thinking, well, let's have a look at either. So we could go a Fury, and that gives us a Berserker, a Reaver, or a Stormwing. This is going to help, because now I'm thinking of the Tactician. and the tactician's got Insurgent, Mastermind, or Vanguard. And I'm leaning towards Insurgent or Reaver, which are not very similar, but similar ways of expressing. I've got it. We're going to go with Fury. Fury, because, again, focusing on this Mnemonic, we are creatures of law, but I've experienced this massive loss, this shaking of my beliefs, and the foundation of my beliefs. Also focusing on that Jedi vibe. We're supposed to be very calm, collected, non-emotional. The idea of rage being the first emotion that infects this Mnemonic is really cool to me. So, and I like the idea of the Reaver, because a Berserker, I think they're really cool. I think they're about breaking down walls and things. They're like a lot of forced movement, which I guess can be really cool actually. If we're thinking like, again, it's me. I love Jedi. That's why we're focused on this. Nothing to do with actual rules. Let's have a look. I think throwing people around with some kind of unseen power would be cool. Stormweight I love, and I'm almost certainly going to play a Wolf Stormweight at some point. The Reaver is the Fury that's all about shapeshifting into sort of creatures to fight. The Reaver is more of a Conan style commando-esque barbarian. The Berserker is classic all rage. But let's have a wee look. So what do we get for each of those? So Berserker, you channel your rage into expressions of physical might, act as a living version of the forces that reshape the world. Reaver, you channel your rage into instinct and cunning, challenging the false order of civilization. You gain the hide skill. Now they're screaming out to me. What do we get if we dig a little bit deeper? So Mighty Leaps, that's very Jedi. You also see the might test me to jump. So we get Primordial Cunning or Primordial Strength, depending on which subclass we choose. Primordial Cunning, you're never surprised. I sense a disturbance in the Force. Additionally, whenever you would push target with Force movement, you can slide them instead. So we're going to have some push abilities anyway, so that implies a sort of Force. We could slide as well. That sounds like it might be a winner. You're better at agility. When you slide, you deal bonus damage. That's sounding pretty cool. What does Primordial Strength get us? Double damage to objects. Whenever you push, you get a vertical push. That's kind of cool and fits. You focus more on might and bonus damage if you move before you hit. You can have Relentless Toss. When someone would move you, you move them. That's pretty cool. And would be nice with the fact we're really light as a Mnemonic. We're going to have really poor force move resistance. You select a new target. If you're force move, you select a new target, then this is force moved instead. Like an ally or an enemy, you can increase it by your number of squares equal to your might score. So this is a really good way to negate our disadvantage of being so light. But then I played a Reaver playtest and I love the Uncanny Dodge ability. Basically it's a reaction to taking a damage in AoE and you can throw yourself out of the space, but if you spend rage you can grab an ally and take them with you. So I like that. I think we're going to play a Reaver. Yeah, let's go for that. So we get a starting might of 2 and an agility of 2. We can choose the following array for other characteristics. So let's see. So we get a 2, 2. I kind of like, so I have negative stats, so I think I'm going to go for a 1 in intuition. So we pick our 1, right? Whoa. I'm sure it's 110, so I'm going to go for a 0 in reason. No, 0 in presence. screw it. So we get starting stamina of 21, we have 15 recoveries, that's huge. And we have nature and choose 2 exploration or intrigue skills. That's cool. Let's see. So, we're back to skills in a moment. So we pick a signature ability, we get another signature ability from our kit. So the signature abilities, we've got one that does a lot of pushing. I think that's probably going to be it if we're doing the sort of force idea, and that we can slide people as well instead of push. Hit and run, that lets us shift after attacks are resolved. That helps us stay away from attacks made pushes. Humiliating strike. That can deal a decent chunk of damage. But it's like almost like reckless in 5e, where it's like you deal extra damage to them, but if you do, they get an extra attack on you. Then Hailing Strike lets you grab. Grabbing seems cool. Let's go for Brutal Slam. So I'm not too fussed on sticking them in the character sheet here. I can always copy that later, but I think I'll go for. Let's take me note here. So we'll go for heroic. Nope, I think it's just signature. Signature. Brutal Slam. So the heavy impact of your weapon drives your foes ever backwards. It's a melee attack. It deals 3 damage in push 1, 8 in push 2, and 12 in push 4. It's pretty cool. For heroic abilities, we get to pick 1 from the 3 costs and 1 from the 5 costs. So we've got Death Before Beauty. Your enemies will get out of the way whether they want to or not. So you can hit someone and you slide them, which we can sort of slide anyway. When you force move them, you can move into the squares they leave, and they take damage for any free strikes you provoke. That's cool. That's really cool. Stab me, so I put myself closer to you. I think that's you'll use like a bowling ball basically. Or you shoot towards someone, which we've got pretty good speed. You don't treat enemy creatures as difficult terrain. If they're a creature, you can end your movement in their square. Push them back. Attack everyone you pass. That's really cool. Okay, that's a contender. Whirlwind Strike, you hit everyone around you and you push them. Now obviously we could slide them, so we could then start smacking them onto each other. That would be really cool. And then your entrails are your extrails. That's cool. It does a lot of damage and bleeding. So I like Whirlwind Strike. I'm trying to focus back on who we are. So we're a Mnemonic. He can kind of, we're very light, fast. We can mess with attacks near us using our Keeper of Order. But I'm still loving that Jedi vibe. Let's go for Stab Me, so I pull myself closer to you. Okay. And then now for our 5 costs, let's pick something really cool. So Blood for Blood, Mighty Stroke leaves your foes reeling. Weaken to bleeding, that's okay. Brute Precision, the next attack you sort of automatically chooses a tier 3 result and deals an extra damage. That's cool. So like focus in amongst the rage. Dying Blow, I think we get it just for that. If you're winning or dying, you deal extra damage. But then Primordial Shockwave, it's an area of effect, it's a 5x1 line. It pushes Ooh, pushes everyone one at a time, starting with the person closest to you, so you can knock people into each other as you push them all back. That's just, I mean, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on the Jedi vibe, just putting a hand out and knocking a whole bunch of people back. Primordial Shockwave it is. So we were a nice, happy creative who became a soldier who's out in patrol across the timescape, and then our whole patrol was destroyed. So we became a fury, and now we're just throwing out dope powers. Okay. I think that's all we get for level 1. I could be wrong. Yeah, looks like. So the next two things we have to do are kits and I think our complication. So kits are the draw seal's answer to equipment. So you could have a system where you have, like, I pick a sword, a bow, shield, here's my armor, similar to 5e, which to me just ended up being very boring. Like, I like a longsword. Longsword's a very cool visual, but it's basically the same as a battle axe or a warhammer. They just do different types of damage, which don't really matter within the system. So I like this approach. I really liked how it was presented in the backer kit, almost like showing you different characters using that kit. So we'll not go too deep into it, but before I look, so you can have armor-wise, none, light, medium, heavy. Then we've got bows, ensnaring weapons like bolas, heavy weapons, light weapons, medium weapons, pole arms, unarmed strikes, and whips. A whip could be cool. Then we have a whole bunch of different implements for caster kits. I think we're going for, well, that's the question, isn't it? Do we go for a martial kit on the basis of we want to have some cool, totally not lightsaber-esque weapon? Or do we double down on the sort of force-wielding aspect of it? I kind of remind myself this is not the Star Wars RPG, but I have an idea I'm going with it. Do we double down on that and have like a ward and have some sort of magical power? Let's see. So we've got Cloak and Dagger, we've got Martial Artist, Guisarme, that's fun. The Mountain Kit, Panther, Pugilist, Raider. Raider gives us a bonus to our range and our damage, makes us mobile and faster. That could be cool. Ranger. But we don't necessarily get a whole lot from ranged attacks. So any kind of bow kit is really working. Shining armor, I mean, I love this kit far too much, but if we're some sort of, I mean, it's basically got knight in the title. Shining armor kit provides the most protection a kit can afford, providing you with the sword, shield, and armor necessary to play the prototypical knight. So we're getting some stability to try and offset our -2. We're getting damage to our weapons. We're getting loads of stamina, and the attack taunts. Hey, come attack me. That's pretty cool. What else we got? Swashbuckler. It slides people. Or pushes and we can slide. Whirlwind kit, that's very cool. Throwing out a whip. Or chain. Kind of like Vernestra. Caster kits. I'm so quick to make caster kits, see if there's anything that screams like the Force. Maybe warding? Ward Weaver? Because they've got a ward that protects them, repels people who come near them. Nah. I'm leaning towards the Shining Armor kit, but I want one more look at the Panther. Because again, anything that's pushing, not the Panther, something pushed, I'm pretty sure. Let's dance the pugilist kit slides. Shield bash from the raider kit. Really like that. Lets you push, not prone. Nah, bit boring. Go for the shining armor kit. So let's stick that in there. So we use heavy armor and shields. We can use medium weapons. We get +12 to our stamina, +1 to our stability, and +2, +2, +2 to our damage. That seems cool. Okay, so last thing, what is our complication? So let's have a look at our complications. So each complication comes with benefit and drawback. We could roll a hoops 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's roll. Let's roll a d10. Nice fancy d10s. Which go 1 to 10 and then go 1 to 9 and then there's a 30. Because it was my birthday. 3. Elemental absorption. An evil mage threatens someone you loved. You block your foe's summoning an elemental creature by absorbing their magic with your body. Your stamina increases by 5 at first level. And then your drawback, when you're dying, you're possessing elemental takes control of your body. What if it's some kind of a void elemental that... I mean, I saw Shipwrecked, I was like, that seems pretty cool. But actually, I'm going to go with what we rolled. Elemental absorption, this idea of this void elemental was involved in the battle that destroyed my crew. So I throw myself in front of an attack hoping to die with them, and instead I've woken up tougher, but with this downside of when I go below 0 stamina, this void elemental takes over. So let's go for that. It's very cool. There we go. So that's our character broadly speaking. So the only things to update is we've got 2 more languages, 1 renown, and then we've got a bunch of skills. So, oh, and a name. So our stability should be -2. And I guess to -1, we've got 1 renown. 2 more languages. Now I don't want the languages to speak at the timescape, but maybe we recently crashed Earth. And let's say we crashed to Earth at X. And we speak Zoatl. Then we left X and then we headed for somewhere with technology in the capital, or Vasloria, but along the way we bumped into the goal, and this is where we've sort of reinforced this connection to primordial chaos. So there's a couple of languages there, and we've got full recoveries, we've got bucket loads of health, we've got our characteristics. Now we have a whole bunch of skills. So I'm pretty sure we got nature from being a fury, and we got hide from being a reaver. And then let's work our way back. So we get 2 exploration or intrigue skills from being a fury. So I feel like exploration fits the sort of patrol vibe more than intrigue. So let's say drive, because we used to help fly the ship. And we've got navigate. We've also got 1 exploration skill, 1 intrigue skill for being a soldier. So our exploration skill is endurance. And our intrigue skill should be something to do with being like space cops. Search. Yeah. We grew up as a creative, so we could. We're a musician, do we think? Musician from the stars? Or in some other kind of crafting mechanics. We helped prepare the ship. There we go. We get one crafting interpersonal skill and one exploration interpersonal skill. So I think we're going to take interpersonal skill from our communal organisation and our culture, and then one exploration skill from our environment. Or maybe two interpersonal skills actually. Let's see, so I spotted interrogate earlier. But also, let's pick another one. Could persuade, lead person. There we go. Space cop. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 skills. Does that line up? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. So that's our character. This is kind of add things here, so class things, and there's our title. So our soldier career lets us change our kit as a risk activity and something else. Come to complication things later. But yeah, so that is our Mnemonic Fury. Let's see. We need a name. Does anyone have a name in mind that they want to suggest? Or should I come up with one? I'm not sure how mnemonics are named, to be honest. I think there's one in the fiction. Well, there will be one in the fiction because that's who they are. So let's have a look. Under mnemonic. Count Revival. Okay. I don't know how they're supposed to be named. But Count, Revival, Count, sort of noble title. Maybe they have a noble title, or maybe that's just a way of imparting order, bureaucracy. Revile something. Emotions? Reactions? A species, our ancestry that specifically doesn't have emotions being named after them. So, what kind of class do we think Count Revile is? I don't know what they are. Are they Fury? That would be cool. Revile. What's a strong emotion? Lord Hate is a bit too much on the nose. Mnemonic. Lady Fury, that I watched Deadpool 2 recently. I'm usually so good at names, but I'm stumped. So let's think of other options. Let's see. Try this one as isolation, alone. Duke Soul. There we go. The Solar Soldier. Well, that is our character. So we have a Jigsaw, a Mnemonic Fury, who was raised, or whose community, his culture was a communal nomadic organization where they were raised as a creative. They became a soldier and patrolled across the timescape until their ship was destroyed, and they were the sole survivor and became a reaver and made their way across Orton to eventually end up in Vasloria. I want to play them now because just visually in combat already, I'm thinking taunting someone with my shining armor kit and coming close and then slamming them back with the brutal slam, which I can use to sort of pivot them into my allies. Just bowling through a whole crowd of enemies, just attacking them all with stabbies to pull myself closer. And then as they all come in behind me, just unleashing that primordial shockwave and knocking them all back. That's cool as hell. Well, that is the character creation. If you haven't got your hands on the patron packet, you need to become a patron over at MCDM. I think there's a backer kit coming soon if you're a backer. I think the next few months. Otherwise, stay tuned for the game's release. I think they talked at one point about doing like an open beta. I don't know if that'll fall by the wayside because we've got so many backers now. But certainly possible. Equally, if you're in the Discord, the testers, the coordinators, run tests all the time, and you get a chance to get in and play the sort of newest version with some of the newer classes. But yeah, if you have played Draw Steel, let us know how it went. Drop a comment in the doobly-doo? No, doobly-doo is where I write. You drop a comment in the comments. And yeah, like and subscribe, and tell us what you thought of the video. Cheers, folks.